Are you ready to start building new habits into your life that are actually going to stick? I'm Dana Lynn. I'm a registered dietitian, and today we're going to be talking about sustainable ways to build new habits in 5 pretty simple steps. So, the first step is to just choose one habit to change at a time. This one's so important, and diet culture and society kind of tells us that we need to just change everything at once. Everyone needs to be eating all the vegetables every day and exercising 5 days a week and getting 8 hours of sleep and drinking all the water. And most people aren't doing most of these things, but we feel like, okay, I'm ready to get healthy. And so we think we have to do all of them overnight. And what happens when we try to make too many changes at once is our subconscious gets completely freaked out. So, part of our subconscious mind's job is to keep us safe. And everything that we've been doing up until now has kept us safe enough for us to be here talking right now. So, our subconscious really likes us to keep doing those same things. So, when we try to change a bunch of stuff at once, it's like a huge red flag and it pulls us back down into old patterns really quickly. That's why so many people fall back into all their old patterns fast. So, when we're making one change at a time, that's a much easier thing to be, tiptoeing into. The subconscious mind doesn't freak out as much, and it's just going to be a lot more doable. So, how do you choose what's the one thing you want to work on? And this is where we want to look at kind of what we call the lowest hanging fruit, which is basically what's the thing that's the most doable that's going to get you the best results, in a reasonable amount of time. One that I hear all the time is that people find that they're overeating at dinner time, and so they want to build a new habit of not overeating at dinner. So I'm just going to use this one as the example for the sake of this video, but you choose whatever habit you want to work on, and these things will fit into any of those categories. So that was the first step, is to just do one thing. The second step is to identify what your current habits are that you're wanting to change, right? And figure out what is the thing that's triggering that current habit. So it's not random why you're doing these things. There's always a reason that it comes about. And that trigger can be, for the purpose of the dinner example, is maybe you didn't eat enough, like you're starving. So if you didn't eat enough earlier in the day, maybe it's been a really long time between lunch and dinner and you didn't have a snack or anything, then you're going to be really hungry. And so that hunger can be a trigger to overeat. Or maybe it's that it's the end of the day and you're really tired and you just want to relax. So you want to figure out what that trigger is. Sometimes it's easier to figure out than others. So when you're trying to identify this trigger, think about, where are you when this habit keeps popping up? What time of day is it? Who are you with? These are things you want to kind of look at so that you can start to identify the trigger. And the reason it's so important to identify this trigger is because if there's something you can do about it, then you know what you're dealing with, right? So for example, if it is that you're overly hungry, like starving at dinner time, well then, hey, that's actually a really easy fix. We can actually remove that trigger by making sure you're not skipping any meals, by making sure you're having a balanced afternoon snack that has like protein and it has fiber. It's going to help keep you satisfied until dinner time so that you're not overly hungry. So hey, you've identified it, you know what to do to fix it, and now that trigger is gone. So it's going to be a lot easier to change the habit. Now, if your trigger is something you can't change, like it's just the time of day and you're exhausted from working, then that's when, at least knowing it, you're able to anticipate it and kind of make a plan. Like, you know you're going to be tired, and you know that when you're tired, that leads to overeating because it's like relaxing. So identify that thing so that then you can kind of make a plan accordingly. The third step is to recognize that whatever you're currently doing, again, it's that habit that's already there that you want to change. Whatever you're currently doing, there's a reward that you are getting from it. There's a reason why it's been working for you so far, that it's become a habit. So you want to identify what that reward is. And maybe if it's with overeating dinner, it's that feeling of relaxation that you've worked really hard all day and you deserve it. So just kind of recognizing what that reward is. Sometimes it's that food is just so comforting. So whatever it is, recognize the reward so that you're able to kind of know what you're dealing with. And I think this is where a lot of times we go wrong when we're trying to change a habit or create a new habit, is if we're not thinking about the reward and making sure that there is a reward that's part of the new habit, it's not going to last because we seek out those rewards. So that third step is identifying the reward, and then your next step is going to be to whatever new habit you're trying to build, make sure there is a reward as part of that, right? So that you are still getting the benefits of it. It's going to be a lot easier to make the behavior change, to make this new habit that way. You just want, obviously, the new reward to not have any negative health consequences like the overeating was having. So, for example, if it's dinner time, what you can do is maybe part of it is like you don't want that dinner to end because it's so relaxing. So maybe to still lengthen dinner but not lengthen the amount of food you're eating is to slow down your eating. Take a lot smaller bites. Chew each bite really well. Like draw it out. Think how the Europeans, they'll eat for like 2 hours, 3 hours, and they're not overeating. It's because they're really enjoying their food. So we call this mindful eating. So you can kind of practice some mindful eating so that you're still getting that nice long dinner time. So that's one thing you could do. Another reward might be that maybe at dinner you like that connection with family or whoever you're eating with. Can you connect in other ways after dinner? So maybe you're kind of bridging that time from eating to going straight to the kitchen and cleaning up, because like no one wants to do that. So oftentimes we might just keep eating to avoid doing that. So can you bridge that time with something else that's fun, that maybe still has that connection or something like that? So, you know, it's making sure there's still a reward in place and it has to feel good. And then the fifth step is to practice. This is not a one and done kind of thing. This is like you're building a new muscle. Building a new habit is building a new muscle. It takes time, it takes repetition, and there's going to be times where you are successful and there's going to be times where you fail. And if those times that you are not successful and you fail, if you're really focusing on how you're a loser and like you have no willpower and all the negative things, you're not going to learn anything from that, and it's just going to spiral down. So what you want to do instead is use that as an opportunity to figure out why you didn't do the new habit. Why did you fall back into the old one? Well, maybe it's just because you only got like 6 hours of sleep last night and you were too tired. Or maybe you had a really emotional day. Or maybe you forgot to have that afternoon snack. So recognize it so that then you know what you kind of are dealing with and what you need to do next. Keep practicing. The more you practice, it will get easier and easier and easier. And once it gets a lot easier and you're kind of finding you're falling into this new habit pretty nicely, move on to the next one. Now you get to choose the new habit, right? So maybe it's exercising more, whatever you want it to be. So these are the 5 steps. Practice them. Just choose one thing. If you feel like you would like more assistance with this, I am taking on new coaching clients right now. And with the coaching, it's having that accountability. Someone like I'm really with you every step of the way, helping you kind of work through these steps. So that's always an option. But I invite you in the comments to let me know what you're thinking of doing for a habit change, and see if you can identify the trigger and identify the reward and kind of make that plan on how to move forward. So please do share this with anyone that you think would benefit from it. Go ahead and like it. That helps it reach more people, and you can subscribe if you'd like more videos like this. But I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.